From nothing to something. The true story of a young man who turned poverty into power. They said poverty was permanent. They said a boy like him could never make it. Not from that place, not from that kind of struggle. But he refused to let the world decide his story. This is the journey of KWAME, a young man who started with nothing. No money, no connections, not even hope, yet built a life of financial freedom that changed his entire family. His story isn't just about money. It's about mindset, grit, and the belief that no matter where you start, you can rewrite your future. KWAME grew up in a small, forgotten town, the kind where dreams fade faster than daylight. His father, a local mechanic, worked long hours just to feed the family. But poverty was a stubborn shadow that never left their home. When his father fell sick, there was no money for treatment. Hospitals were a luxury they couldn't afford. And one morning, KWAME woke up to the news that would change his life forever. His father was gone. He was only 16. The house was quiet. His mother sat by the window, holding a photo, tears in her eyes, fear in her heart. KWAME looked at his two younger sisters and realized it was now on him. He had no choice. That day, something changed inside him. A voice whispered, "If you don't fight for this family, nobody will." KWAME didn't have money for college, but he had determination. He started small, carrying goods at the local market, washing cars, selling phone accessories by the roadside. Day by day, he saved every coin. Sometimes he'd go to bed hungry just to keep a few dollars in his pocket. He didn't see poverty as punishment anymore. He saw it as a training ground. But he knew that hustling forever wasn't enough. He needed to learn how money actually works. One day, while resting under a mango tree, he borrowed an old smartphone from a friend and found something that would change everything. A YouTube video about financial freedom. For the first time, KWAME heard the words compound interest, investing, and passive income. He didn't understand much, but he knew one thing. This was his way out. Learning about money. KWAME became obsessed with learning. He used free Wi-Fi spots to watch financial videos late into the night. He learned about budgeting, saving, and investing in small things, skills most schools never teach. He wrote down everything in a torn notebook. How to save at least 10% of every income, how to invest in small but consistent ways, how to avoid emotional spending. Soon he opened a small savings account. Then he downloaded an investment app that allowed him to buy fractional shares, just $1 at a time. It wasn't much, but it was progress. KWAME started a side hustle, reselling used electronics online. He bought broken phones, fixed them, and sold them for profit. Every profit he divided 3 ways. A portion for savings, a portion for investment, a small portion for home support. Months turned into years. His consistency started paying off. He saved enough to start a small business, a power equipment and solar startup that provided energy solutions to homes in his community. His neighbors thought it was impossible. But the boy who once carried goods at the market was now employing people. KWAME's name spread. Clients came from nearby towns, then cities. He registered his company, Focus Power Engineering, and it became a trusted local brand. One evening he came home with a surprise, a brand new refrigerator for his mother, and new dresses for his sisters. For the first time, the house was filled with laughter again. His mother smiled and said, "Your father would be proud." That night, KWAME sat outside and looked at the stars. He realized that wealth isn't about luck or background. It's about courage, education, and taking one small step every single day. KWAME often says, "I didn't grow up rich, but I grew up ready." Here are the 5 lessons he learned on his journey. Start now, but start small. Don't wait for perfect conditions, because perfect conditions never come. Learn before you earn. Knowledge multiplies money faster than effort alone. Save a portion, no matter how small. Even $1 saved is progress. Invest in yourself and your skills. Your greatest return comes from what you know. Stay consistent. Wealth grows in silence, one smart decision at a time. The message. Today, KWAME travels across Africa and the United States, teaching young people about financial literacy, showing them that money is not about where you come from, but where you choose to go. He uses his company profits to support education programs and help other families escape poverty. The same boy who once couldn't afford food now builds opportunities for others. KWAME's story is not fiction. It's the reality of what happens when determination meets knowledge. And his message is simple. No matter how small your start, you can build something powerful, because every fortune begins with a single decision to try. If you've ever felt stuck, broke, or hopeless, remember this. Money is just a tool. What truly builds wealth is the mindset to grow, the courage to start, and the consistency to keep going. So start today. Start with $1. Start with what you have. Because the journey to financial freedom doesn't begin with money. It begins with you. And as we say here at WealthGrow Academy, we don't just teach money. We teach momentum.